this for the lead and possibly the win. Dapper. No good! He pushed it!
And did everything they could to secure this win.
NC State survives it. 21-20. The Wolfpack did not score in the second.
Welcome back.
What is up, guys? Ooh, it's been a while.
It has been what? Well over a year. I never passed kindergarten, so I don't know how to count.
Yeah, it's been a while.
But
folks.
it has been a good little while. Hope y'all are still doing well.
Oh yeah,
hanging in
you
there.
You're doing well. Hanging in there like a loose tooth, as you know, my old dad would say. Hey, Dad, not that you're old. Hey,
Always gotta hang in like a loose tooth.
There you
Tell you
go.
what, those boys don't come out.
they don't.
Speaking of coming out, ECU didn't come out of Dowdy-Ficklen Stadium without a win. So
But that was a really great segue there. I like that.
I appreciate that.
Yes. Rough one for the Pirates at home in Greenville.
You said Ruffin for the Pirates? Oh, speaking of which, Ruffin McNeil coming right back to ECU as a state assistant. Continue.
Man, you're 2 for 2. I mean, this guy's done some studying since he's been on the break. But yes, Ruffin comes back. East Carolina with a heartbreaking loss there at home. If you're a Pirate fan, I was there. Can't say I was too happy with the outcome. I don't think really anyone was happy with the outcome, even if a lot of State fans were not happy. Just the way the Pack played, it was very poor. Pirates defense played really well. I would say both defenses played really well. ECU's defense shut out the Wolfpack offense in the second half. That's a big story to watch. Mike Houston made adjustments there at the half with his squad, and it really showed coming out and scoring. Was it 13 unanswered there towards the end. Just got to make kicks.
That's what it all comes down to.
Really,
as a State fan, I know exactly what that's about.
I was about to say, State fans, you guys, you've had your troubles with kicks in the past, and now you're finally like, hey, the shoe's on the other foot.
We passed the shoe to their foot, and it didn't fit.
No,
it didn't fit on us either. So you know. As a State fan, yes, as the point that you made earlier, I was not happy with the way that we played. Like Devin Leary said in his post-game interview, he said that most of the team was disappointed with the win, which you don't usually hear about a disappointment during a win because he won.
Yeah.
But if you look back at just what State played at, here's some of the stats right here. I mean, Devin Leary came into the season as the preseason ACC Player of the Year, and I would say he very much so under-delivered, going 17 for 33 passing, 211 yards, a touchdown, a pick, and a QB rating of 36.8.
That is just very un-Devin Leary-like. That is very just not him. We talked about this earlier. Like, later in the game when he threw a pick to, the Pirate defense, and it's just... That was a freshman.
It looked like
throw.
Freshman Devin Leary. It
did
looked
not
like his first year.
It didn't look like a play he makes on the ball.
It didn't look like he was comfortable in the offense.
It almost looked. He looked rattled.
He did look rattled.
And I'm not going to say that's because of the crowd. I mean, Dowdy-Ficklen Stadium sold out. It was an amazing atmosphere.
51,711 people.
Yes. I mean, they set an attendance record there at the Fick. It was really a sight to be at. It was a great game, back and forth. State goes up 21-7 at the half, and you're thinking, can the Wolfpack run away with this? East Carolina goes out, gets a 3-and-out, if I'm not mistaken, on the first drive of the second half. Gets the ball back, and then it was all Pirates from there, really, minus the kicking situation. But the Pirates, I mean, Mike Houston said in his post-game press conference, they dominated State in the second half, physically. Hustle-wise, I mean, they just outplayed NC State.
State got down to the goal line twice, exactly, and couldn't manage to punch it in.
It was first and goal from the 1.
Twice.
Yeah.
2 different times it was first and goal from the 1.
And
or at least inside the 4.
So yeah, I think it was inside the 5 on the second.
Either way, they both possessions they got it to the 1 at
Yes.
one point. Then there was the fumble and then just the
Yes.
goal line stand.
Which honestly, I mean, there's two things you can look at there. Great job by the ECU defense, sitting there, going toe to toe with an ACC foe, and not just any old regular ACC foe. I mean, this is top 15 team in the country right here.
Some might say top 4.
I mean,
Big Game Boomer.
Big Game Boomer, shout out. Who posted me on a story? Thanks, bud. So shout out to him with his top 4 at the end of the year. He also had Utah in there, so I don't know how accurate this is going to be.
Utah is now going to fall. He also didn't have Georgia in there, and Georgia looked very good. We won't talk about that, Georgia's SEC, but Georgia,
a little
go look up that
SEC
score
action
right there, and it will surprise you exactly what happened in that game.
Well, then again, it's Oregon. What do you expect?
But
Bo Nix, he transfers from Auburn to go all the way to Eugene just to run back into Georgia.
No escape from the buzzsaw. Just ask a piece of wood at Home Depot.
All right. But yes, Pirates offense looked a little stagnant in the first half. Holt Nailers threw a pick on the first drive, comes back with the second drive with a response of a touchdown. You like to see that as an ECU fan. State defense looked very on their heels that drive, and towards the end of the game, they looked confused. They didn't look like a veteran defense. They looked like they returned 3 guys. Tanner Engel actually had a really good day on the defense. I would say Tanner Engel had a really good game. He was flying all around the yard.
He was flying around the yard because nobody else would pick up the dang receivers.
Well, yeah, that's about right. One thing I noticed, and I don't know how this will affect State's game down the road, it looks like ECU found something later in the game. In my opinion, the play calling in the first half for East Carolina wasn't there. They tried to force the run. I didn't like that too much. I liked seeing Ehlers get the ball out quick with the underneath routes and then letting his receivers work in open space. Eventually, that's what got him that first touchdown. It was just kind of a little simple 10-yard route that eventually C.J. Johnson turned upfield and eventually scored to put the Pirates up 7-0 early. It did not seem like State could defend that at all. I mean, when he gets the ball out as soon as he snaps it, of course you're not always going to defend it, but you can minimize it, and State just could not do that.
State brought
Saturday.
too much pressure, so much they brought pressure, and they could not get to the quarterback before he got it out, because I've heard it said Holton was not throwing to a receiver, he was throwing to a spot. So he got that ball, 2 steps back, bam, right to the spot. And the receiver was there every single time somehow. So props to the receivers, props to Ehlers for putting the ball right where it needed to be.
And I would say in the second half, much better play calling offensively by the Pirates.
They transferred the crappy play calling to State, so that kind of sucks.
What they did was instead of putting the running game started working later. They started getting a couple runs there later, but not too much on the ground for the Pirates. What they did to get the running backs involved was little swing passes, getting them out in the flat, and letting Keaton Mitchell, Keaton Mitchell, kind of do his work. Because once he gets out in open space, he's one of the hardest guys to tackle in the country. I mean, that guy can fly. And it showed the last drive when East Carolina was going to set up the field goal. I mean, he had about a 30, 40-yard run just off a swing pass, and he can make a man miss.
Very fast dude.
But, yeah. I mean, State's got Charleston Southern coming up next week.
Got to be able to warm up. Happy for State to get out there with the win. They shouldn't have gotten the win at all. But, I mean, now you got Charleston Southern, and then you get a little tune-up game in Charleston Southern before you get to go play Texas Tech. And then Texas Tech, not better than ECU at all, but it'll be nice to play a Power 5 opponent at home under the lights. That way you got the crowd on your side, you got everything on your side. Then
Little
you
Uncle
get another
Mo.
UConn, and then they got Clemson.
And then Clemson, that's a big game.
Clemson is scary, but not scary at all.
Yeah, Clemson's a test.
They're like a big old panda bear. If you tickle it right in the tummy, it's going to laugh. Take it from me, folks.
All right, Jordan Davis, I hear you.
That's what they called me in high school. I'll hear you.
All right, but yeah. So I mean, honestly, it's just it's a disappointing loss for the Pirates, a disappointing win for the Pack, but nonetheless, Pack 1-0 after a week.
Great game, all around.
Yeah, I mean, It was a great game to watch. It was a defensive battle. I mean, State's defense, I was harping on their defense a second ago. They still played really, really good. Special teams
Could have been better.
Special teams was key.
Special teams carried the team.
It did.
Carried the game.
It really won them the game. One pump block covered up for a touchdown. That's what did it.
Don't get that, the whole game's changed.
And I can't believe I have to say this. Chris Dunn making his extra points. Special teams, like just the simple
All about
things.
the special teams.
So shout out to Chris for making all of his extra points. I wish everyone would have done the same. But sometimes that's how it is. And great first week of football. We loved it. We're gonna have some more videos coming back with you with App State and North Carolina, maybe here coming soon.
Stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned for that. That'll be coming up here hopefully shortly.
That's the plan.
We'll see what happens, but definitely some more football to look ahead, especially, and then we'll hopefully talk about week 2 coming up. What does the Pac need to do? What do the other schools need to do? Like Florida State, Carolina, Florida State with a huge win as well. And yeah, we'll talk
in
about
a similar circumstance, mind you.
Very similar circumstance.
Eerily similar.
Some would say the purple and gold struggled on special teams this weekend.
LOL.
But yeah. Anyway, so we'll catch you guys later, and Mullet and Goose out.
Mullet and Goose out.
Good to see you guys.